So I wanted to thank you for bringing the entrepreneurs, and thank you for coming, because for me, this is education, right? So sometimes as an educator, you talk all the time. It's wonderful to listen to the stories. It's absolutely amazing. I love each of you and each of the things that you are doing. And one of the things we want to think about is, I wanted to address the question about business plans, about so maybe how do you take it to a brand, or how do you teach business? How do you teach students not only to just make a living, but to become entrepreneurs themselves, to sell, things like that. So I think we have to think about the role of scaling. So things like business, the predictive tools, right? The tools in all 4 boxes, all entrepreneurs have to learn how to use. But if we want to scale the entrepreneurs, right, because we need more entrepreneurs in Rosinias, we need more entrepreneurs in the arts, more entrepreneurs in sustainability. If we have to do that, when you start thinking about it, and that is where effectuation is useful, right? So each of you is like a role model for hopefully at least 100 other entrepreneurs to come. So that is my wish and hope for Brazil, but also for education. So one of the things we have tried to do in the group is to say, let's consider entrepreneurship like science, right? When we first discovered the scientific method in the late 17th, 18th century, we decided to teach science to everybody, right? Not only to future scientists. And the similar thing we should be doing with business, and that's why I asked you, you are teaching them music, you're teaching them technology and production, but we need to teach entrepreneurship to everybody, not because everybody will start a company, but you can support. So when Michel is looking for money, he doesn't have to go only to the people with the money. He can actually think about who would actually benefit and how can we create sources of income for the people who actually benefit. That means to the community inside the Rosinia as well. And to do that, we have to educate everybody in entrepreneurship. And so then people can, just like in science, it's not only the scientists. There are people who build laboratories. There are people who will build technology. There are people who will advocate for science education inside the government and pass the law. All of that has to be done for entrepreneurship, just because that is the only way we can give voice to people, but also they actually can become pilots in their own plane, right? So I thank you so much. And in the last 3 or 4 minutes, I want to ask you, do any of you have a question for those of us who are trying to be educators and researchers in entrepreneurship? So do you have a question? Yes? I have a feeling I'm going to be talking to him.
Você não tocou muito. Falando em Google, eu acho que criou
I
problema.
want you to be a Google, not enough to say.
Ok. Há poucos dias atrás eu passei por chegando já no finalzinho do treinamento do Google, a gente passou por um pitch, né? Pitch do elevador. Né? E aí os colegas falaram que eu tinha que apresentar o Fala Rosa em 3 minutos. Falei, não, é humanamente impossível falar do Fala Rosa em 3 minutos. Qual é a sua dica? Se existe um padrão de tempo para apresentar um projeto para as pessoas que queiram, de certa forma, financiar ou doar algum valor para a sua organização?
Okay, this is a good question. It's a tough question, but I am going to tackle it. Here's what you want to say. You want to say, this is Fala Rosa. This is the voice of the people who are misunderstood and very often not heard at all. The company has as much potential as the New York Times and the Financial Times. What do I need to do to get you to do something to take me to that place? You can put money, you can give me people, you can give me technology, you can put me in touch with nonprofits, you can get my government to give me a grant. You can do anything you want. What would it take for you to become part of Falaosa? Don't tell them, this is why you should be. Don't tell them, you will make money or I will save children. Don't do anything. Say, I am capable of doing this. What do I need to do to make you a part of it? That's it. That's the pitch. All right? Less than 3 minutes, I hope. Maybe in Portuguese, it takes a little longer. All right, very good. Would you have a question? I would like to end with your voice, not with my voice.
Você me levantou muitas questões, assim, que a gente às vezes fica imerso lá no negócio e ouvir foi muito bom. Mas, por outro lado, tem a veia professora, né? E eu sou professora num curso de design e, apesar de estar numa instituição grande, os alunos não veem nada de empreendedorismo. Assim, por onde começar? Porque eu acho que isso é fundamental, e no design mais ainda, né? Assim, por onde começar?
Again, this one is easy. Start with the story of a design entrepreneur. Start with Damon John. It's a fashion company. He's designed many things. He's involved in music. And he is now investing in many other companies that are also in design and marketing. So start with a story. And when you first start with a story, your design students will see the design in it, right? Then you ask them, what do you see about the business side of design in that story? And that is how you get started. We have to understand how money works with life, right? How marketing works with beauty and art. And we have to understand how production and regulations works with health. That's what each of you are doing. You're trying to put business and society together. So start with a story that already has business and design together, and then get the students to think design, but also think business. And then when they do their own design, ask them the same question. What would it take to market this? How can you build a brand? So you make them put the stories together all the time, but start with a story. That would be my suggestion. Okay? All right. Do you have a question? Yes.
Sim, tem uma pergunta. O meu negócio hoje, assim, pensando, né, em tudo que eu ouvi e aprendi aqui, o meu negócio ele é música, né, aula, instrumentos musicais, construção dos instrumentos, né, a seleção desses resíduos também é um nicho também, e a venda direta disso, né, desse trabalho todo que é desenvolvido. Só que tudo isso, a gente não tem uma sede para poder fazer esse trabalho todo. Aí pergunto, de que forma que eu consigo alcançar esse espaço? Como que eu consigo ter uma sede? Porque eu vim falando há anos, como a Vila Isabel, né, cantou em 88. Minha sede é minha sede. Eu preciso de uma sede urgentemente. É isso. Essa é a minha necessidade para conseguir fazer o meu trabalho, continuar o meu trabalho.
Yeah. Excellent question. You want to think, who has affordable loft space? Who has space in Rio or São Paulo, wherever you are? Who has space?
Muita gente tem. Mas a troca que elas estabelecem é muito desonesta. É muito desonesta, entendeu? Eu venho trabalhando com várias pessoas há anos. Chega num determinado momento, a pessoa pega o conceito, anda sozinha, vai para outro lado, e eu fico ali a ver navios. Por quê? Porque eu sou artista e eu fico muito concentrada na arte, no aprendizado e no ensino, e não tenho a malandragem, a maldade humana, sabe assim, de questionar. Não, eu não vou deixar você saber tudo que eu faço. Entendeu? Então, acaba que as pessoas vão caminhando, abrem escolas, sucursais e, nossa, tem tanta coisa. Minha sede é a minha sede. Essa é a minha frase. Pessoas têm espaço? Muitas têm. Agora, eu não sei de que forma que elas vão querer me ceder ou não, entendeu? Até agora não apareceu ninguém. Desculpa, tá, gente? Me emocionei.
No, I am emotional with you because I have been through situations where people not only, like you mentioned your hair, there are people who will just look at you and think you are not capable of doing business. Or they make these terms because it is unfair and you don't. So you have to knock on every door who has a space and say, I want to work with you, but on my terms, right? So if you knock on enough doors with space, and sometimes the space is not, I want you to think about not the people who are renting space out. I want you to think about, for example, a large company. Maybe they have a space in their company room which is not being used 3 days a week. Right? You have so don't think about this person has a space and I have to ask them. Talk to anybody and everybody. Talk to companies, talk to banks, right? Go to a bank and say, I need a space. Do you have a room that I can use? Do you have a customer who has a factory who has extra space? Where I can actually make my musical instruments. Go to people who make musical instruments, mainstream musical instruments. Ask them, I want to partner with you. I want to make my instruments in your space. What is the deal? And the idea would be that they can get a lot of free marketing by having you as a partner. So don't go to places that are renting you space. Go to people who can be your partners. They bring space and you bring something else to them. You can go to hospitals, for example. So knock on many different people's, wherever there is space in a building, go and ask. And do not settle for any terms other than the one that you feel comfortable with. So till you find the right partner, just keep on knocking on doors. Does that help? Good? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Don't talk only to
Ajudou.
renters.
Eu não tinha pensado ainda em parceiros, por exemplo. Bancos, por exemplo, não tinha pensado, nem hospitais.
Yeah?
Vou começar a pensar nessa possibilidade.
Universities.
Universidade. A universidade, né? Eu já tenho pensado. Obrigada pela... O quê? Então, vamos embora, né? Me mostra onde que eu vou lá.
Yes. Who can introduce?
Me mostra onde que eu vou lá. Bora.
So right now, who can introduce her to somebody with space? One already. All right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Talk to everybody, Regina. Oh, okay.
Obrigado, boa tarde, meu nome é Daniel. Eu queria só acrescentar que eu achei incrível a sua fala, o seu projeto. E quando você listou o que você tem, eu fiquei pensando sobre como a primeira coisa que vem na minha mente, do valor que o seu trabalho entrega, é o impacto social, que eu acho assim, que vem na frente. Então, todas essas pessoas com quem você trabalhou, muitas vezes talvez tenha sido difícil encontrar um jeito de precificar ou de vender, porque dentro dos mercados não é tão fácil encontrar pessoas interessadas ou que valorizem ou que vejam um retorno imediato para esse tipo de trabalho. Mas eu acho que ele é brilhante e merece todo tipo de apreço. E, em algum momento, eu acho que a gente está entendendo maneiras de achar ele nesse sistema, e eu espero muito que você encontre, porque é a parte que mais inspira, eu acho. Muito obrigado.
I think that's a beautiful note to end the session on. So, thank you.